in the
Yeah,
game.
I'm really interested to see how this game goes because we saw a huge, dominant performance just then from Rampage. They're kind of on a roll, and but what we saw from the other games is Reboot was just completely dominant on their side. So we have two, gladiators coming at it. I'm interested to see, maybe Reboot. They had that downtime on they're waiting a little bit for these games to get done. Probably waited about a little over an hour. Maybe the rest help them. Maybe staying fresh for Rampage is gonna help them out in these games because they've been fighting this entire time. Haven't had a time to take a break. They're just locked in the zone. It'll be interesting to see which team comes out on fire in this game.
All right, I'm gonna be right back. I'm going to use the restroom.
All right, cool. So here we go. Bands: Rise, Dr. Moon, and Janna. Those are both all great bands. Shen, Lulu, Thiessen. So pretty much top tier bands right there off the board. And Nautilus there. We see him again. We've seen him all day long. Nautilus a real terror here. Is an absolute killer in the jungle. Love to see him in these League of Legends games. And Shyvana, this is the first Shyvana that we've actually seen today at all. It looks like we're seeing a Riven as well. There is no Lee Sin for her this time. Jiggerfoot played an excellent Lee Sin we saw last game. Probably going to be manning this Riven as well. But what a Teemo, that would be cute. That would be cute. Teemo did get his buffs, but Teemo's usually a counter pick. Usually not just straight up lock in. Who you fooling? Who you trying to play? Jokers. And Garen would be interesting. Don't think we're probably going to see him, but who knows? Kale actually locked in though. That's actually a new pick for our games today too. So seeing some mix-ups, some change in the lineups, I like it. Kale was buffed a little bit. She had that era where her heal and her movement speed buffs were too good, and then those got nerfed and taken away, and now they buffed them back up. So might be seeing a little bit more play from her, which would be pretty cool. And Kog'Maw, there's the Kog'Maw pick. Love the Kog'Maw. Always gives you that trump card late game.
So I'm back. I see that they picked up Kale. Very, very strong top laner, but I don't know how. But she does okay against Riven. And they switched it to Ashe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any problems with Ashe. I mean, she does some things that a lot of other characters can't do.
I agree. I have nothing against Ashe either. So.
And we've seen a lot more play of her, and I really do like that because she had that moment where she basically faded away, and everybody was like, "No one plays Ashe," blah blah blah, and kind of the community kind of poo-pooed her for a while because she wasn't getting played at the high level. But I mean, she's still a very good champion. After she got a few base value buffs, everybody's like, "Oh yeah, let's play Ashe again," and she's pretty amazing hero. And ooh, like that Morgana pick. Morgana was able to sneak through there, and they do have the Sunos, a very AoE heavy team right here. The only character not really fitting that theme is the Kale, but
On a side note, Ashe's arrow did get nerfed really bad at one patch. It went from a 60-second cooldown to 100 seconds.
yeah, it did. I mean,
That's pretty significant.
yeah, I think a lot of people were having fun abusing that. You
Yeah.
get some cooldown, and you just have this like global, like huge, effective like thing for team fights or anything, flying around the map constantly. Definitely a game changer.
If you take a look at Reboot's bottom lane, Sona Graves is almost a direct counter to Ashe Soraka. So we'll see how that goes bottom.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how that works out. Very good, very strong, aggressive comp. So we went to passive lane. And what will they round it? What is Rampage gonna round us out with? Who is gonna be their AP mid? I'm assuming. suspense drumroll, please. And it's gonna be Galio. It's gonna be another peeler for Ash.
Galio against Morgana.
I don't mind it. He can push back possibly. I mean, but it's probably what I was gonna guess they were gonna play. But and there is the swaps. Meanwhile, Rampage is gonna play their champions out. It looks like maybe. I'm really interested to see the Kayle top. I haven't actually seen it in competitive play. I've played against it in some weird kooky bottom lane scenarios. I've seen Kayle jungle. But after this recent patch, I'm excited to see her top and see what they do with this. Rebo's, had stellar play all tournament. I'm interested to see how they decide to take on this Rampage team and see if Rampage, can keep that endurance level. Because when you're in tournaments like this, this tournament has actually been pretty quick. It's not like the long marathon that a lot of players are used to, but
in about 6 hours since the first game.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty clip along, but I mean I think especially at, when you're in a tournament scenario and you're playing all these games, sometimes mentally players start to just slack off or get complacent in some parts or get worn down. So mental fatigue is a serious factor in competitive gaming. So I just see if these people are still locked in or not.
I didn't. Aside from the best of 3 series, no one has had to play a back-to-back game, which is pretty nice. Everybody has at least half an hour in between games.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I'm pretty proud. I did a pretty good job organizing this. So
yeah, I can't give you enough props for how quickly run this tournament has gone through and smoothly. I mean, we've had our a few streaming issues and stuff like that here and there, but for the most part, the main tournament itself is running great, and so yeah, can't give you enough props for that. It's a hard thing to do, even if you have a ton of planning. Sometimes it comes down to the players. So again, props to them as well.
Very good job. Everybody's making it out here and being on time, responsible. I like that. And Grave got cleansed probably for the Galio and the Arrow.
Yeah, I actually really like that. I like that response from them. It negates a lot of what Ash wants to do. A lot of her advantage of having that arrow in the bag. If you're able to cancel that, then not a lot you can do to track him down. And the Nautilus ganks are again. It's almost going to be kind of that Riot scenario, where if Nautilus catches you and the Dark Binding, a little bit harder to land than a Shackle, but if the Nautilus catches you and the Dark Binding follows it up right away, then you're in a lot of trouble middle. So you guys are gonna have to be really careful. I actually want to see. I'm really excited about this Kayle versus Riven matchup. I want to see how that plays out. Who gets the advantage there? Because they seem pretty confident in taking Kayle.
Kayle's E is very, very good at top, especially level 1. Kayle's E practically makes her a range carry up top. Righteous Theory, am I right?
Yeah.
The range sword, yeah.
Yep. I miss the old days when their ult was longer and more annoying. Then they kept reducing the time on it to nerf it. How dare they?
That Kayle remake, I feel like, destroyed her. Her new passive is not nearly as good as her old one.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of sad too, because she was one of those champions that was kind of iconic with League of Legends when it first came out.
Well, the game's starting up, and good luck to both teams in the finals.
No, I got my stupid error where it goes in between my screens. That's awesome, thanks. It's okay, I can fix it. I have the technology. hate that though.
Revo's had 5 skins all tournament.
Yeah, man,
Uh,
they're real fans, man. They want that triumphant skin. They're
expensive.
skin collectors. They're skin scalpers.
From what I've heard, I'm pretty sure half of them already have it.
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, we have some pretty skilled players mixed into that team. I mean, a lot of them are 2K. I mean, all of them are 2K plus, but some of them are 2200. So you're nearing pretty high up there in Elo. You're getting in the top 200 at that point.
Yeah. And a lot of these people have been around for a long time.
Alright, let me fix this.
I think Morgana's team is probably going to try to level 1.
Alright, there we go. All is fixed. Back in the game. And it looks like they're pinging towards red side. Might take a defensive stance or offensive stance. Really quick run out by Rampage. Cutting down, oh, not cutting down towards their jungle. Jungle, it looks like they were going to. It looks like they're going to enter middle brush, possibly. Or just say hello to each other in mid lane.
None of them have seen each other yet.
You too will be judged.
Oh, hey, look at that.
Oh, wow. It's like a dark binding landed right there. So much trouble. It looks like they're rotating back, down, and around.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
I love that Nautilus skin. It's quintessential tank skin. Looks like they're going up here and try to steal blue. Do the little hook around. Shyvana looks like she will be starting red at this time.
Minions have spawned.
Kale starting the recall right now. It's kind of funny because I think Soraka thought about running through. I don't know if they saw him, but she thought about running through, but that is a very dangerous move because, of course, obviously they're there, or they can be there. So she's gonna back up. I wonder if Shyvana's gonna save her smite and try to run over real quick and steal blue. If they did have an idea that they were there, that would be a pretty clutch move in response.
If Purple Team knew that they were stealing blue, then yes, but they don't know, from what I can see.
Yeah, they don't know, and so there's gonna be a quick smite onto red, and Shyvana's gonna come up here possibly for a gank. And no, she's actually gonna do a little counter juggling anyways. Interesting. Nautilus meanwhile going to the other side, can probably steal red. Or could steal it. Shyvana will have both buffs now, rotate back up to her own jungle. Purple did place a ward in this brush to try to negate. They're going to have to spend another one because they are getting pressed on their turret now. If they wish to kill it. Looks like both Graves and Stone actually did focus it and got down to 1 hit. Which is a pretty good, little trick to do. Sometimes you can't actually catch it if you have enough attack speed.
The best feeling is killing a ward, like once it comes up at bottom. One of the best feelings.
Riven and Kale pretty separated from each other, haven't neither one really getting engaged on yet. And there's that pressure, trying to put a lot of pressure onto Ashe, putting her under her own turret.
Oh, top.
There we go, gank incoming, red buff applied, exhaust applied, ghosting, try to come out with the live. Ignite going now, but it's not going to be enough to kill Kale. Kale perfectly safe right now. It looks like she will blue pill. Great great burst damage actually on the Ashe. Ashe very, very low here. And the heals from Soraka early, you know, it costs her a decent amount of mana, doesn't heal for a lot. We're actually doing a good job of actually pressuring Galio. He's actually getting him to harass her with AoE spells that he could be using to clear. And Nautilus doing a great job onto... Oh, will he get it? One last hit, and he will pick up first blood. Double buffs for you.
Duty's doing work this whole tournament. MVP.
Yeah, easy. I mean, that guy, he been playing stellar all game. I think there's only one game where he's outshined by the end game pentakill from Kog'Maw. Otherwise, he's been playing ridiculous.
Even so, that game when he played Nocturne, very, very good play.
Yeah, I mean, his play was stellar, and arguably, you know, his play top, killing, you know, Vlad so many times was, you know, instrumental in them winning.
And he's going for the early Oracle again. Or what's this, the other Nautilus? But very early Oracles, both games.
And I like it. It gives it opens up a lot of gank paths, eliminates a lot of vision early. Although neither team really has a lot of wards on the map at this point. Shyvana's going to be very sad running over there and finding there's no camps for her to steal from Nautilus. Nautilus checking down here. There's no actual wards, so if he can land something, unfortunately he's not blitz. He can't throw that hook through a wall.
Shyvana's coming down. But Nautilus has already left. So.
Yeah, that would have been disastrous if she would have came in like she did right here if Nautilus was still here.
If Nautilus was still here, this would be very bad.
The worst part is, too, is really Shyvana has no CC, so her coming in there without red buff or anything, she doesn't even have exhaust up. I mean, she was never really going to slow them down if they backed out right when he saw her, and if Nautilus was there, that would be a huge blunder. But, you know, I think it was one of those things where she was on her path, ran through, found there was no, you know, CS to take, kind of got frustrated, and was like, hey, I'll go for this gank. Might as well do something with this, with my time that I've spent here. Goes back to race season, still gone. Unfortunate.
Shyvana's been running around a lot, like even Nautilus is out CSing, so that's not good.
Yeah, I mean, Shyvana is one of those characters that should be, you know, top of the CS charts in jungle easy, because she does clear waves so quickly. Oh, great little dive here onto Ashe, putting tons of damage onto both targets, spreading it around. Soraka actually used her heal on herself, so they won't have that here. And great pressure from this bottom lane. Been very, very impressive. Today top lane, look at Kayle, 54 CS to Riven's 48. So, you know, she's been staying there, hasn't been able to be killed, leading in CS. That's really what you want to see. So great play by her. Nautilus looks like he's running in here for possibly a counter. He does see the blue is up, has an Oracle, knows that they did not see him on this path down. He's going to pull it down real quick. And Galio not reacting, going to actually hand this off to Morgana possibly. Oh, yeah, he does pick it up. That was very close.
If they hear their own blue right now, they could have 2 blue buffs, and which is very likely.
Yeah, I think it could be in their future. Could even feed the blue buff to Kayle possibly if they really wanted to.
Very good jungle control by Pasuti.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty impressive from a character that normally, you know, is, you know, his weakness is the hey, you know, he can be counter jungled. And it looks like they're just going to pull this out and do Dragon. They feel like they have enough of an advantage. They do have the ward vision. Know that bottom lane did back, so this is very, very smart timing from them. Pretty clutch. Galio coming in here, and wow, they're actually going to back off of this. Galio scaring him.
That's a good decision. Riven was here way before Kayle, and they can arrow, so that's very good.
Uh-oh, Shyvana Just barely dodges that Dark Binding. Kale's rotated down in now. Still a lot of effort surrounding this dragon. No one really wants to give it up. No one wants to quite back yet. Blue team is split though, so we have to converge at a really good time. Shyvana caught out here taking a ton of burst damage. Ash Arrow coming in, and Idle Brand going down. Great ult by Kale. That was amazing ult by Kale, mitigating a lot of damage that was actually going to go down onto Morgana. Graves trying to stick in this fight, but you know what? Reba is actually losing out on this trade here. Not a lot of mana for Graves. He's not going to have a lot else to escape out of this. And Ash just keeps applying slows, cleanses a little bit late, and there you have it.
That team fight, their team fight team is very good. Riven just caught everybody in the stun. So did Galio.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive there. So 4 for 1 and a dragon. Quite a good turnaround there. So Rebo's early advantage they were trying to work with is been negated. But they're back on the other foot.
That's one of the things about Dragon. Like you can throw away a huge advantage by going for it, and something bad happens.
Yeah, there was actually, you know, an article on GG Chronicle during Hanover that was talking about CLG giving up so many dragons. They were like negative 18 in dragons going on into like the semifinals or something ridiculous like that, because they were just like, hey, you know what, we're going to sit in lane and farm, and we're going to have our superior farm mechanics carry us through as opposed to trying to fight over dragon, unless we know for sure we can take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 190 gold, that's about, what, 9 minions. That's a wave. A little bit more than a wave.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, in some cases, like, you know, right there, it's like if you give Dragon and 4 kills, you know, it definitely wasn't worth it. You might as well have been in lane farming. For the amount of build-up time and prep time and stuff like that, so. Pretty interesting strategy right there, and you know, it ended up working for him pretty well in some of their recent tournaments. Sona being pretty careful here. And there is the depth charge onto Ashe. She's going to Ash Arrow in response so she doesn't get caught. Great reaction right there. Doesn't want to get followed up by the hook. Riven right now rocking that Hex Drinker. Dark Binding full combo onto Galio, but he does not care one bit.
Yeah, Galio's a very good counter to many mids.
Yeah, I mean, he deals with them very, very well. Hard to put out any real damage onto him, especially with Bulwark. I mean, you're not going to see the same effect as they had before with their Morgana, you know, popping soul shackles and stuff like that like we saw earlier today, and bursting someone down really quickly. It's not going to happen to Galio, typically. Shyvana keeps, you know, putting up some map presence, running in here onto Kale, but not going to be able to get anything out of it. Nautilus still with his Oracle, who's able to preserve that through that last team fight, which is very, very good. Another thing I'd like to point out, though, is again we saw, like, we talked about it earlier on in the tournament, the pincer move that we saw that people love to do around Dragon, but it's so got. It's better just to spend the time to have, you know, one half of your team rotate down and actually group up as a whole. Because what happened there is, you know, half of Rebo got caught up top of Dragon, and then they just focused on the last half and cleaned it up for 4 kills.
Yeah, always be on the same side if you're going to team fight.
No, Flash Idol Duran onto the team. Sona ignited. Gonna probably fall down here. Tries to pop her ult and flashes out the last second. Healed and will barely escape. The arrow just barely grazes by. Depth charge will actually pick up onto Shyvana.
Oh, wow.
Great move there. Shyvana actually clearing the depth charge from her team. Now we have trade around kills. Ashe still trying to kite here. Not sure
Riven's heading down. Bad. Oh, someone's dying.
Graves trying to cleanse and flash out of this. And now they're in full retreat. Will Morgana and I think they will be able to actually escape out of this. Good Dark Binding, catching him off there. Impressed by Sona's actual escape right there. She was in a lot of trouble. Meanwhile, yeah, Kayle just pressing the turret, farming up. Letting the minions deal their damage. I'm happy too that all the Riven players have the Bunny Riven skin. That's universal.
Good wave and a half of EXP and gold. Pretty big.
Galio will have blue, so he will be able to easily match Morgana's pushing power. Ashe getting a little bit more aggressive here on bot. And they almost have killed this bottom turret. It is past 15 minutes, so it's not a bad idea. And wow, Kayle getting a kill top onto Riven. Unexpected a little bit there. Kayle becoming a real beast here, actually. Top turret is falling, pushing this hard.
Oh, I wasn't looking, I missed it.
Ashe does have her heal up, just waiting on cooldowns. Idle Duran, the only ultimate right now for purple team that is up, and here comes Nautilus, has that Oracle. Again, they sniff it out pretty easily right there. The vision lasts for a little bit there, so they do see you go back into the brush, buddy. Morgana going back now.
They're handing red to Kayle. What they're wondering what he's going to do with that.
Probably give her a little bit, a little bit more slow and strength on her end. Again, she doesn't have on hit effects anymore, so it's not as good as it used to be.
No one has taken a teleport yet this whole tournament at top.
Yeah.
Everybody's been using Ignite.
Yeah, I think they just relied on team coordination. Alt arrow coming in here, gets cleared out really quickly. And there we go, grab onto Ashe, getting chased in. Shyvana's going to jump in this fight. Ida Duran actually going to catch Kayle and, but oh my gosh, Morgana's going to be key here if she can land a great ult. And Dark Binding and Depth Charge onto Shyvana. I don't think you're going to be able to escape, buddy. There's the Soul Shackle, initial front end burst damage, going to pick up a kill. Meanwhile, Riven is pushing top as hard as she can while this team fight is going on. So many players low, but tons of slow going to Ashe. You need to be very careful here.
Oh.
Will we see a kill?
Oh, wow.
We will not see a kill. Very dangerous, and Riven pressing down as hard as she can, wants to probably put a ton of damage on this turret, might be able to get to about half health. This is going to be a little bit less than that. Doesn't have quite a bit as much damage as I expected she had. And the gold is even here. I'm pretty impressed by this game because Rebo, has given their teams the business, and they've kind of met their match here. I'm glad that we're getting some really solid games out here as we get down in the finals. The real teams are, progressing, great bracketology, if you will. Great setup here.
I guess that's how seeding works. I mean, if the seeds are right, 1 and 2 will play each other in the finals, depending on how everybody plays. But theoretically, they should.
Yeah, I mean that is a typical goal, and but it's funny that it's kind of worked out that way, that we have two really solid teams that have played no crazy upsets yet. And Dragon might go down. Will it get stolen? Oh wow, the Q from Sona actually steals that. Shyvana will fall. Run away for team. Galio actually caught out a little bit here. Riven jumping straight into the middle of the team. Will they focus her? Ignite going down onto her. Chasing right after Morgana. She actually will.
Wow.
Riven's going to be able to escape out of this.
Very close team
barely
fight.
escaping. And Ashe will finally fall. And Riven will finally fall, coming back into this fight. And Soraka, will she be the last one? Missing that heal. Missing the buckshot. Can she escape? Hook grabs her, and that is the ace.
That ace.
Rebo turning around in what was an evil game. They shut me down in mid-sentence, and now we have about a 3.5k differential.
That looked like Remo was gonna lose at the beginning. Like I honestly thought they were losing. Everybody was so low, and then they turned around.
Yeah, I was kind of worried. I was kind of worried for them, but they had great focus. I think the main key was that a lot of the members of Rampage were spreading out constantly. You know, in that team fight, they lost Shyvana very, very early. She didn't have any really effective damage in the team fight. So great job by them. And great focus. So now we have a 4.3k gold advantage for Reboot. Pretty solid. Kale's gonna go back here. Not sure what she's gonna buy. Bloodthirster maybe? Nope. Infinity Edge, straight up. Count it.
Wow, there are 2 Infinity Edges on Team Reboot already. Morgana has her Hourglass, and Nautilus has the Reverie, so the team fights will be very good if they decide to fight right now.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting because they have a lot of big damage items. If you look across the way, they have pieces to sort of build them, but there's no real big, you know, damage item that you're really looking for on the other team for team fights. So
Kale's going to be huge. He's going to do so much damage.
Yeah, she's going to be very, very scary in these team fights. For sure, and I'm expecting that we're going to see, or we should see, a lot of shading towards armor, actually. From Team Rampage, if they're looking at what's going on right now. Soraka will pick up an Oracle, gonna try to gain some map control. With that, Nautilus rocking Oracles for days. A lot of pressure on this mid turret. Galley needs to be careful. Probably gonna pop his idol of Durand here. Will he get a chance? He will get a chance under turret. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Ash Arrow coming down the pipe, actually killing Morgana in the process. Keeping her under that turret and not going to have quite enough damage to finish off Riven. The Hex Drinker is proccing, and they will clear out middle turret, which was their goal all along. So trading AP mids right there and getting a turret like they wanted. Shyvana trying to press top hard, and Rampage might have resigned already again to that strategy where they need to split push because they don't think they're going to be able to win a team fight. Might start to get back in that mode, although I don't think they have enough, you know, they don't have that same advantage, you know, with the mistake that was, you know, in the earlier game when they played against Tasty, where Tasty let them, you know, let Ezreal push bomb all the way for a base turret. Soraka clearing out wards at Baron. Smart play by both teams. Still pretty tight game. Reboot hasn't actually completely run away with this.
Shyvana's item's 22 minutes in, very under farmed. Even though she has 130 CS, I feel like she should have more items than that.
Yeah.
How much gold does she? She has 1,600 gold, so it shows she can pick up something when she shops.
Yeah, 5.5 total gold. But the thing is interesting to point. If you look at the total golds, there's 2 members. Kale and Graves are almost at 8k, and you have Morgana at 7k, and no one else on Team Rampage is nearing is at 7k at this point.
Yeah, they have gold on all the right people.
Yeah, exactly what you want.
They want to do Baron right now. Very interesting to see how that will go down.
Yeah, it looks like all the key alts are up for Rampage as well as the enemy team. So really, it's, you know, how the engagements go down, who gets to initiate and layer their alts correctly.
If they kill that ward at Baron, they're not. Rampage has no more wards on any member, so.
Looks like we're going to have a push on the mid, and now we might see a team fight as they're walking here. Ashe pushed out a little bit far. Wow. If any sort of slow landed on her, that would be terrible. Although they do have a lot of peel and counter initiate. That would not be what you would want. Both teams playing very cautiously. They know that Baron is a key objective at this point. No one wants to lose a team fight, and if they're afraid of losing a team fight, if a Baron does start and puts extra damage on to reboot, that might be what they need to win a team fight.
Oh.
Ashe going bottom.
If Ashe shows bottom right now, that's very bad. Oh, that is very bad. Ashe goes. They're gonna do Baron right now. Yep.
Question is, do they think they can actually take this or deny it at least or keep them away from it with 4 people? And that's what they decided. But Shrilla's referee has been popped. A lot of focus going on to Galio here. Shakedown on Soraka. Soraka is going to be eaten alive right now. Ashe Arrow finally coming in. Riven already at half health. Soul Shackle goes down. Not going to catch anybody. The full chase is on. And Rampage is trying to back out of this. Shyvana should be able to escape. Unless there's some serious shenanigans. And they could go back on and go back to the Baron. But oh my gosh.
Oh,
Ashe getting caught out. Getting rooted in place. Slowed down. Idle Duran coming in. Trying to protect this. Shyvana comes in. Picks up a really quick kill. Alt coming in here, double kill for Galio, and this has been totally flipped around. Reboot running for their lives, Ignite going down, and he's just running away to save his teammates, and only Sona and Graves are left alive, so Reboot's feeling really good about that, and bam, next thing you know, ridiculous amount of damage, their team is bursted down, they lose 2 members, 3 members, and Graves and Sona's job right now is actually harass these guys because they can do it, and prevent this Baron from going down. They should be able to do it, a lot of the ults are down. And
they got kited really hard that fight, and I feel like, oh
Galio's
wow,
gonna fall first. Is actually pretty scary right now.
Baron.
Sona's gonna take this down, but Shyvana should fall in the process. No, just gets a heal in there. Beautiful play by Soraka coming in there saving that. So they're gonna trade 1 for 1 there.
Baron died. Baron killed Riven.
Oh. Unfortunate. Baron
that
OP.
was good. They stopped Baron, so...
Baron's playing his own separate game. Uh-oh, the chase is back on to Ashe. I don't think they have another slow for this. Ashe Arrow comes out, but brilliant Black Shield onto Graves and no flash and pick up the kill, so no AD now. That was pretty awesome. The Black Shield coming up just in time, eating that
almost
arrow.
instant. That was, I don't know if that was reflex or you just did that.
Yeah, that was
very good.
This is one of those scenarios where I wish I had the ability to hop into their Skype call or bring up their audio and replay it and see if they were calling that out or what happened. Cause
that was very, very good reflex if he did that on the spot, because that was near. I thought that was a cleanse.
Yeah, that was pretty boss. And Soraka caught out yet again. Apparently, Baron's just bait. He's just a giant worm at the end of the hook.
They should finish it. It was at 20%.
They just want kills. They're all about the kills. And wow, really good attempt there with the Wind Slash. Wind Slash is actually an execute, so it's actually really good against Baron because it does damage based on missing health. So it can surprise you with how much burst damage comes in there, and it can be really effective for kill steals. Something that not a lot of people know, but it doesn't matter. Reboot still gonna pick up that Baron, and it was really even. I think they heard me through the internets from the future, and they were like, "No, we're gonna turn this around." This is the time.
Very back and forth game until recently.
Yeah, and I mean, Rampage has shown some signs of life. They've been able to, have a team fight where they've been able to come out on top. But just the team fight is just too good, and without the advantage they had earlier, where they were able to so effectively split push against Tasty, the scenario is not the same here, and I feel like they have a hard time trying to pull that off again. The ball is right in Reboot's court. It's their game to lose at this point.
I feel like Rampage needs to actively catch someone with an arrow instead of letting the other team initiate on them every time and using it as a defense, but that's just how I feel.
No, I agree. I think it's definitely, there's something to be said for who gets off the first punch in a team fight, and sometimes the team that initiates, typically they have an advantage, and it's more, their attitude is more to kite and back off and survive than, go in there for a kill, and that might be the thing they need. However, right now they're behind so much, I don't know if they can initiate anymore.
Hella big.
Yeah, unless they catch the correct person just out of sight, they can blow up instantly. But Graves just standing out there like a man, Has his cut-off jean shirt and his glasses. He's ready to go.
All the summoners are up. Everybody has their flash and ghost and ignite. Everything's up. So next team fight should be very interesting.
And Shyvana not actually there for her team. Dark Binding just barely misses Ashe. That would have been really, really bad for her. And it's a 5v4 at turn. Shyvana's been running around the enemy jungle. I don't necessarily know why, because he can't actually backdoor. Good clearing power.
Oh.
And Shyvana's been spotted out.
Nope. Tail ghosted.
Yep. Gonna Dragon Form over the wall. And now we have the endless chase. Cue Benny Hill music. If I did have it to cue, I would. But now we see engagement back on here. But Grace is kind of alone. This section is really, really good for them. Isles Duran goes down. This might be perfect, but Kale ult comes in. Brilliant right there. Brilliant Kale ult. And they have been completely routed. Shyvana out of this fight, getting chased down by Morgana, who's going to soul shackle her. Double kill for Graves in the process, chasing down Ashe. As we go, Darkbind just barely going to land and pick up this last kill.
Nice.
Will we see the last hook? We will see the hook onto Ashe. Root in place, and there is the ace. And I think that might be game if they can push fast enough. Not only 25 seconds. They're definitely going to get an inhibitor. There's the surrender. GG is coming down, and we will go to game 2.
Reboot takes game 1, and game 2 will be started very soon after a short ad break.
Victory!